Now comes question number 4 for judicial process, that is called judicial activism. Judicial activism empowers judiciary's social role. It expands interpretation of constitutional provisions actively. Judiciary steps in for societal equity enforcement, broadens judicial reach to protect rights, ensures checks on government power excesses, promotes justice by proactive judicial involvement. Judicial activism safeguards democracy and rule, protects marginalized and upholds legal fairness. Judicial activism enables progressive societal change. Courts act when executive fails rights. Types of judicial activism: legal interpretation based activism. Broad interpretation enhances laws' flexibility. Judges adapt laws to changing social needs. Courts reinterpret statutes for equitable justice. Judicial discretion strengthens legal adaptation. Legal terms broadened for fairness enforcement. Interpretation adjusts laws to societal growth. Expands statutory meanings for timely justice. Flexibility ensures relevant legal application. Judges interpret laws beyond literal meaning. Law interpretation reflects society's dynamic nature. The second is public interest litigation. PIL empowers ordinary citizens to act. Public rights protected by judiciary activism. Courts hear cases impacting broad society. PIL extends standing for social causes. Activism protects collective public interests. Citizens access judiciary for social justice. Judicial activism broadens PIL's scope. Justice sought for larger public good. Social issues gain judicial attention via PIL. Courts address citizen rights through PIL. Third is directive principles based activism. Activism promotes enforceability of directive principles. Courts uphold social justice through the directives. Directive principles inspire judicial policy influence. Judiciary invokes principles for policy betterment. Activism aligns law with constitutional ideals. Social objectives fulfilled through directive principles. Courts nudge policy closer to constitutional goals. Judicial review enforces directive based social change. Non justiciable rights gain activism based enforcement. Ensures welfare measures achieve legal backing. Fundamental rights based activism. Activism strengthens enforcement of fundamental rights. Courts proactively protect individual freedoms. Rights based activism ensures constitutional protections. Judiciary interprets rights broadly for justice. Fundamental rights gain expanded judicial protection. Activism prevents rights abuses in governance. Judiciary intervenes to uphold human rights. Fundamental rights are safeguarded by activism. Courts ensure rights for all individuals. Rights based activism guards democratic freedom. Relevant case laws for judicial activism: Kesarwananda Reddy versus State of Kerala, landmark case for basic structural doctrine. Judicial activism defended constitutional supremacy. Court restricted Parliament's amendment power. Basic structure concept safeguarded constitutional integrity. Judicial activism asserted Judiciary's crucial role, Parliament limited in altering core principles, judiciary protected democracy, constitutional framework, basic structure, doctrine preserves rights inherently, activism prevented legislative overreach, effectively established limits on amending constitutional essence. Maneka Gandhi versus UI expanded Article 21's scope and protection, judicial activism redefined right to life, rights protection broadened judicially in India, enhanced personal liberties, interpretations significantly, right to life extended beyond mere survival, fundamental rights became more dynamic here, judicial activism protected individual freedoms vigorously, case crucial in expanding civil liberties, activism ensured liberty beyond physical confinement, strengthened judicial commitment to personal freedoms. Vishakha versus State of Rajasthan addressed workplace harassment of women urgently. Judicial activism provided immediate guidelines. Court acted in absence of legislature action. Activism brought progressive change for women, empowered women by ensuring workplace safety guidelines, upheld women's rights to work safely, social justice advanced through judicial guidelines, significant activism in gender justice arena. Vishakha guidelines set precedent for harassment prevention case influenced workplace norms across India. Olga Teles versus Bombay Municipal Corporation, homeless individuals' rights to livelihood upheld. Right to life interpreted to include livelihood, judicial activism protected urban poor's rights, advanced social justice for marginalized sections, judiciary ensured fairness in state actions, courts proactively protected vulnerable populations' rights, state actions balanced against individual rights, case significant for expanding human rights, public interest addressed through judicial intervention, activism underscored social dimensions of justice. Aruna Shanbag case, judicial activism addressed euthanasia in India, established guidelines for passive euthanasia, court protected right to die with dignity, balances between life preservation and dignity, advanced human rights through judicial discretion, courts made healthcare institutions more responsible, case sparked ethical debate on euthanasia, judicial activism tackled bioethical human rights issues, influenced Indian medical and legal discourse, case law addressed autonomy and end of life discussion decisions. So the conclusion is judicial activism vital for democracy resilience, protects rights where legislature may lag, judiciary ensures law involves with society, activism supports justice and democratic governance. Proactive judiciary promotes public interest, balances state power through judicial checks, empowers marginalized, ensures social justice. Judicial activism ensures democratic accountability. Society progresses through active judicial intervention. Activism vital for vibrant democratic function.